Hi, everyone. This is Jim Kavanaugh for Tickle the Wire. You know, with the anniversary of 9/11 almost upon us, it's time for all of us to remember the heroes of 9/11. There's no victims, really, I'd say. In my mind, everyone was a hero in 9/11 that lost their lives because they were all citizens of the United States and the world going about their business of being good citizens. And that matters a lot. We should all remember they're all heroes. But with the anniversary approaching, law enforcement officers, city, county, state, federal, campus, transportation, prosecutors, everyone has to be on top of their game. And you know, in almost 4 decades of law enforcement, I learned a lot of lessons through failure and success. I learned a lot of things that we could do, that we should do, and I learned a lot of things that helps you get through, a big case, a tough situation. I believe in what Winston Churchill said: we won't make the same mistakes again. We're going to make new mistakes. The cardinal sin is to repeat the mistakes of the past. When we look back at all the terrorist attacks we've had, domestic ones from homegrown people like McVeigh and Rudolph, the tragedy we suffered at the hands of Al-Qaeda from New York and the Pentagon in Pennsylvania to Fort Hood, Texas, we've learned a lot of things that we can change and that we've improved. But I'd like to share with you 2 things that I think have worked for me and worked for teams that we've worked together across all agencies to make cases better and to solve cases and to exploit the lead so we can, stop the killers. The first thing is that every law enforcement officer and every commander and everybody involved in law enforcement and national security, from the beat officer to the president, should have this phrase always on their mind: info, flow, and go. It's simple, but it always puts you in the right place. Info, flow, and go. I used to tape it on the front of the command post sometimes, just to make sure everybody had it on their mind. And what it tells you is the responsibility to gather information, intelligence. That's the info you receive, no matter how you get it. Informants, tripwires, triggers, intelligence. You dug it out on surveillance. It doesn't matter how you got it somehow. And now you've got to flow the information. Oftentimes there's a breakdown here. In cases across the board, we can see it. And what you've got to do is you've got to flow it down, if you have subordinates, across to your peers, and up to your commanders. It's a 360-degree flow that everyone is responsible for. The beat officer has to flow it to the other cops in his area, to his sergeant, lieutenant, and even to citizens that could be in danger. So he has a 360-degree flow as well. And so does the president. He might have to call other heads of state, his peers around the world, and say, this is what's happening. And he has to make sure his national security team's advised. And so everybody has an up and down flow, a 360-degree flow. So info, flow, and then go. And go means you act on your assignment. You go and you go to the task at hand. If it's surveillance, if it's analyzing the intelligence, if it's you're the bomb squad and you've got to go out and do bomb disposal, you've got to then get to the task. Info, flow, and go. If we all do it, it serves us all to be able to defeat and exploit any possible terrorist attack that comes our way, whether it's from Al-Qaeda's ilk or the McVeigh and Rudolph types that are grown domestically. That's the first phrase I'd like everyone to remember. I think it really will help. Second one is, whenever you're responding to one of these attacks, always remember this. Think cover, there may be another. And Al-Qaeda has been tremendously resilient in always using multiples in their attacks. It goes back to the attacks on the embassies in Africa, many attacks across Europe, in Madrid, in London. We have seen it in Mumbai. There's not one attacker. There may be multiple attackers. There may be multiple bombs. There may be bombs to blow the gate and suicide bombers to follow. We all know the tactics, but when we're dispatched, think cover, there may be another. And that's cover for your citizens that you have to protect, and cover for you and your team that have to respond, cover for everyone involved. And don't think it's the only event. It may be more events on the heels across the city, across the state, across the country. And we, law enforcement officers, have to exploit whatever information we get. Information, info, we have to flow it quickly, 360 degrees, up, down, sideways, and then we have to go to our task. So those two phrases can arm us collectively across law enforcement. Like the Homeland Security Department has, and New York City Police have done a great job in arming citizens with see something, say something. That's tremendous. Police need to be armed with info, flow, and go, and think cover, there may be another. Those two things will put us in the right frame of mind to exploit the information, keep the citizens safe, and defeat the terrorists that come to attack us. They may get through, but if they do, we'll be able to exploit it, roll up the cells, and bring justice to all of them, and that's what they deserve. It's going to be a tough task going forward, but America has got the best law enforcement in the world. So all of you deserve a pat on the back for everything you do every day for America. God bless you, and I'm hoping for a peaceful and quiet September. Thanks, everybody.